Okay, so the fraction side of this quiz, let's work through these right now. Starting with number 1. For the directions for this, it says to simplify before we multiply. So what I'm looking for are, what do these have in common? And here's where our multiplication facts can be an issue. So take out page 142 of your planner if you need to, and have that sitting by you to help you out today. Page 142. Everyone have that out on your desk right now. And then just sit it by your desk, and if you need it, great. If you don't need it, that's fine too. So that's great too. So just put it by your desk and leave it on the top. All right, so here we go. 3 and 81. There's a little trick that you do, and you were taught this. I know you're supposed to have been, okay? And it's a trick to know if a number, since we have 3's on the top, if another number is divisible by 3. Does anyone know that little trick? Yes.
Isn't it if multiple, or like, it's divisible by 3, it'll also be divisible by the number?
I don't know if I know what you mean, but...
Like, if you put in 6, like, 6 is divisible by 3.
Right, if this is divisible by 6, yes, it would be 2. Okay. Is this divisible by any other number that you're familiar with that might be divisible by 3 also? Yeah?
9.
9. And is 9, can 3 go into 9? Yes. Okay. Here's the other trick. I was taught to, if you add up the digits, what's 8 plus 1, everyone? 9. Can we divide 9 by 3? Then this number is divisible by 3. So if you add up the digits, and those are divisible when you add them up, are divisible by 3, then this number is divisible by 3. Okay, that's the other trick that I've heard. So this divided by 3 is 1, and this divided by 3 is 27. Okay, now can we simplify any more looking at this? Yes, we can. And if you want to look on your multiplication chart, just follow it across the 3's. What do you hit?
You hit where 3 is divisible by 9, so then 27 would actually be 9.
Right, so if I divide this by 3 now, I get 1. And if I divide this by 3, I get 9. Okay? So yeah, you can keep simplifying until you multiply. So if you haven't already done this on your sheet, take your ink pen right now and follow along and do this with us. Because if you don't do it now and I get your sheet back, I'm going to have you watch the video and do it again. So you might as well just get it done now and save yourself the time. Okay? I'm not here to just let you sit and not do anything. This is a participatory class. Everyone's involved. Okay, so now that we've simplified completely, there's no other numbers up here even to work with other than 1. We can just take that top times the top and the bottom times the bottom. 9 times 4, if you need to look in your multiplication chart, you can. But it is 36. So our final answer is 136. Sorry, I pushed that up. Okay, let's go over to number 2. Number 2 is even sweeter, I think. So what can we cross off in number 2 as we're working with that problem? How can we simplify this before we multiply it? Yes?
The 8 and the 16.
The 8 and the 16, right. So 8 divided by 8 is 1, and 16 divided by 8 is 2. Okay, there's more to work with here. Turn and tell the person you're sitting by. What else can we do here? Okay, I heard someone say we could do the 5 and 100. We could do the 2 and 100 too, couldn't we? Okay, so I'm going to do the 2 and 100 first. I can divide both of those by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 100 divided by 2 makes it, half of 100 is 50, right? Now there's still something more we can do. Dalton? Yeah. Yeah, divide both of them by 5. 50 divided by 5 gives us 10, and 5 divided by 5 gives us 1. Okay, we've run out of things to do in the bottom, right? All right, we have 1 and a 1. So multiplying fractions, that's no problem. Top times the top, bottom times the bottom. We really should simplify this more and write it as 10. Okay. Moving on to number 3. Number 3 is 3 and 2/8 plus 2 and 5/6. Now when we add and we subtract, we have to have the same size pieces. We're not going to take 6 away from 8. They're different size pieces. These pieces are going to be actually bigger slices because they have like a pie cut into 6 pieces, okay? Compared to a pie cut into 8 pieces, right? You're going to have smaller pieces there. So it wouldn't make sense to combine the pieces. You have no way of putting anything in the denominator to say what size the pieces are that way. So let's get a common denominator, and what will that common denominator be? If you need to look at 8 and 6, using your multiplication chart, go across. Look at the 8 and 6. What's common there? Yes? 24. Yep, 24 would definitely work. So let's put a 24 on the bottom.
You got it wrong, I'd be correcting it.
And then, if this, what do we have to do to 8 to make it 24? We have to do what? Corey, what do we do?
Multiply by 3.
Yeah, so we've got to do, if we cut these total 8 pieces into 3 pieces each, okay, then we have to do that same thing to those 2 pieces up on top that we're dealing with. So we end up with 3 and 6 24ths. Over here, to get 6 to be 24, we have to multiply both the numerator and denominator by 4. So we end up with 5 times 4 is 20 24ths. Now we are adding these 2 together, and some people, and I know you've been taught this before, where you just change them to improper fractions, both of them add up the pieces and then change them back to a mixed number. We're going to try this a little different here. I want you to tell me, we have 3 whole pies and 2 whole pies, right? So how many whole pies do we have? 5, right? Okay. And then we have 6 pieces here and 20 pieces here, so how many total pieces do we have?
26.
26. Now there's something not quite right about it yet, because we have more pieces, right, than a whole pie holds. So we can make one more whole pie out of these 26, can't we? How many pieces do we need to make a whole pie? Yeah.
24.
24 pieces, right? So we can take this and make it into one whole pie, throw it over here with the 5, so we ended up with 6 whole pies. How many extra pieces do we have after we made a whole pie out of this? Yeah.
2.
2. How many pieces were in a whole? 24, right? Now, we're not quite done, are we? A lot to do with this one. 2 24ths is the same, and we have to simplify it. So we write it as 6, and I can divide both of these by 2. 6 and 1 12. Getting all squishy there. Okay, I'm going to have you jump over to number 4, and right above it, I'd like you to simplify both of those fractions right now on your paper. I'm going to come around to see if you can simplify them. Okay, so what is 10 20th simplified to? 1/2. And what is 2/4 simplified to? Say it. 1/2, right? What are a half and a half are what? If I'm baking, okay, and I need a cup of flour, I can put in a 1/2 cup and another 1/2 cup, and now I've got a full cup, right? So the answer is 1. So that was one way you could have solved that. If you're thinking on your toes there. Another way you could solve it is to have that common denominator, which I'm going to make as 20. Okay? If I multiply this times 5, I get the 20, so I have to multiply this by 5. And my 2 pieces are now 10 pieces. Same size, they're just 10 pieces. What is 10 plus 10, everyone? Say it.
20.
What is it?
20.
20, okay. And how many pieces are in a whole? 20. 20 20s. I've got one full pie, don't I? Okay. Number 5. Common denominator. On the count of 3, I want to hear it. What's the common denominator here? 1, 2, 3. 16. So this becomes, if I take this both times 2, 14 sixteenths, right? I'm going to subtract 3 and 15 sixteenths. Can I do that right now? Very easy? I can't, can I? Okay? So what am I going to have to do with one of these pies? I'm going to have to cut it into pieces, aren't I? And if, right now I have 4 whole pies, and then I have a part of another pie. There's my 14 sixteenths, okay? But I have 4 whole pies and part of another pie. And the problem is I have 15 pieces I need to take away. I don't have enough pieces. So what I have to do with one of these pies is I have to cut it into 16 pieces. It's cut into 16 pieces. So what is this fraction now? How many pieces are here? Cameron? 16 pieces are here, okay? So now how many whole pies do I have, everyone? Technically I have 3 that are uncut, right? I have 16 pieces here, I have 14 pieces here. If you want me to cut this up so you can see that it's there. How many total pieces do I have now? What's 14 plus 16? Yes, 30. So now I have 30 pieces, and how many pieces were in a whole pie? 16. Now can I do some subtracting? Yes, I can, okay? So now, what is 3 minus 3, everyone? On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. 0. What is 30 minus 15? 15. So I have 15 pieces. How many pieces are in a whole pie? 16. There's my answer, 15 sixteenths. Number 6. 10 12s. Turn and tell the person you're sitting by what's the common denominator. 12. Thank you very much. What do I have to do to 4 to get 12? I cut each of those into 3 pieces, so I multiply by 3. I have to do the same to the other pieces that were in the pie. So 3 times 3 is 9. What is 10 minus 9? 1. 10 pieces minus 9 pieces. How many pieces were in a whole? 12. My answer is 1/12. Number 7. 7/8 divided by